How are we doing today? We just start straight into work. I made a change in the way the gameplay works. So let me get rid of this thing 1 second, and then I'll show you what the change is and how the change impacted the entire experience. So up to this morning, for me, we had a situation where let me put the practice mode. I think it will be easier to understand what's going on. So up to this morning, what was happening is that the moment I was preparing for the shot, the character was, so imagine, for example, that I was in this position, I was preparing for the shot. The character would kind of move into the ideal lateral position. So it will auto-adjust its position slowly, obviously, not at the same speed that we move. To be at the right distance with the ball. What we're doing now is the character doesn't do that anymore. So the moment I press the button, we stay where we are. There is no auto adjustment, and now the distance, our lateral distance with the ball, has an effect on the ball itself. So if I get really close to the ball, we're gonna get a ball that has got less power. At the moment, the worst case scenario is that we get 30%. So that was my shot being really attached to the ball, right? Wrong position. And if I get into more correct position, my shot is a little bit has got a little bit more power. Obviously, we can improve this a little bit, and we can tweak it, because at the moment, what happened with this change is that the game became much more difficult. So as I tend to say a lot with this game, is that still don't know what game we're really doing. So how much is a game where the player, as the human behind the controller, skills are important, and how much of the character in the game skills are important. So I'm still not sure where the balance of the game is. So you can make a game that is completely dependent on the ability of the human player, or you can make more like something that is more like an RPG game, where the way you work on a player, the way you train, the way you choose to train, and also your strategy during a match. So is it a game of pure ability, where if I have a good timing, a good distance from the ball, I can just slap shots all over the place and win every point because I have a perfect timing and perfect distance and I'm a very good player? Or it's more a game about choosing when to go for a bigger shot, when to go for a more difficult shot. So those are all open questions. By the way, let me grab 1 second the chat from YouTube. I always forget this. So we also have chat from YouTube. So what we're doing today is so now we have this system where it's now important our distance to the ball, right? So what we want to do is improve the UI system that is giving us that feedback on the timing. So the number is how good our timing was. So now I want to add this information with these arrows that tell us, you know, the ball was too far in that direction or was too far in this direction. Raphui, good morning. How are you doing? So that's the idea for today. So we start by drawing the actual triangles. So obviously it's going to be programmer art at the moment. So it doesn't mean it's going to be like this in the game. One thing that we have, which is a little bit problematic, is that our function to draw the text outlined is not drawing the text in the middle of the position that I pass. So we will have to either, I remember that I must have something that draws a center text for sure in the label. For sure in the label, there is a text align. So one thing that I could do is probably, and it's probably the best thing to do, is my draw text outline. We're also gonna get an align text align. Right. So let's fix whoever is calling this guy. So this is a label. So the text align here is already here. So this is annoying. This is a little bit annoying because I'm using the same function. So I don't think that's a good way to, so I could make this an option, but I think it's not really clear. So what we could do is create a sister function, outline. So we could do like align text outline. The last time I stopped by the hair, the hair was going crazy. It's a little bit more stable now, definitely more stable. I think that the biggest change was introducing a dependency on. So before so hair were simulated with particles. And the idea before was that the particle was completely independent from the body, from the character. So was one thing that it was happening, depending on which stream you're talking about, because there was also a problem with timing and with the integration. But the biggest change for me was the fact that before, so you can imagine that if the character moved, the hair will remain behind and they will try to catch up with the physics. And this created that effect where the hair will always remain behind. And what I did was simply add the ability to set a dependence, and a part of the velocity of the character gets automatically sent to the hair, so they kind of follow better. So right now it's not that much of a problem anymore. We still have, I still didn't finish. So I have some code to have like some kind of collision, so the hair will not penetrate through the body. So I have the basic code for that, but I still don't have the code to edit those shapes in the editor and then save it. So in the game right now, the hair are still kind of going through the body. So, Goiman, thanks a lot with your raid. And welcome to the Kuviman party. I think it's the second time that you guys raid me, so not sure if you know, but you know, if you don't know, I'm working on a new idea for a tennis game with a kind of anime style to it. How you doing, man? Yeah, in Rust, so that seems to be an important part. So yeah, I'm working with Rust with a 100% homemade engine. It's an engine that started its life a while ago, and I released a game on Steam that is called Hydrofall Generation. It's a sailing game. This engine is an evolution, is a major rewrite of that engine where the graphic API has changed. So I moved from DirectX 11 that I use for Hydrofall Generation to Vulkan, and that's quite a massive change. So it went through a big slim, a diet. So I removed a lot of code that was not really useful anymore. My engine, the way I tend to work is, I call it an engine, but for me it's like a part of the game. So I really, once I have like a basic ability to load a mesh or something, whatever change I do to the engine part is really something that the game is driving. Right? So if I need a particular thing, I will do it. So it's never a overgeneralized engine that can do a lot of things. So for example, in Hydrofall Generation, the entire water rendering system was something that was very explicitly part of the engine part, right? So it was implemented there in the engine itself, and now it's not here anymore, right? Because all the shaders were HLSL, now everything is GLSL that the Vulkan uses. So almost like a new engine. I brought over things like the math library, audio and stuff like that, although also those were heavily redesigned. And so what we're doing today is, let me see if this thing runs. I've just changed the gameplay in a way that I'm trying to use. So this is a tennis game. So I'm trying to use the distance that we have laterally from the ball as a modifier of how good of a ball you hit, right? At the moment, it works as a modifier on the speed of the ball. So if your lateral distance is a good distance, your ball is going to go faster. And what we're doing is building some kind of UI feedback on this, right? So we're trying to build this graphic. Right now, we're getting a number that tells us how good our timing was, where 100 means our timing was perfect. So now we're trying to build this information with some kind of arrows that tell us how good the distance from the ball was. So we're gonna borrow this text alignment stuff from the label. So we're gonna go for this. So we need this, and we need the font that we have. Where are we? Draw texts. Line outlined. All right, so UI, we calculate the text, and then we match on the text alignment. And what we need is to be able to change this position. Obviously, what we need now is the size. At the end of the day, I think we really don't need to make it this complex, I have a feeling. I have a feeling that probably... Yeah, I don't know. We can do it like this. I don't think we need the size. I think we is enough to do this. Right? And for the right, I think we can just do this. Okay. And then once we have this, we can just call the other function, which is the text outline, and we pass in this, the text, the position, the for color, the outline color, the outline size, and that's it. Okay. What I think of Tauri, I don't even know what it is. I have no idea what it is. So I think you will have to tell me what you think about it, because I have no idea what it is. And probably, I think because this function is called draw a line text, probably we want to bring this text align as a second parameter, just to make it really obvious that it's important. So text align center. Okay. This should move the way that number, the place where the number appears. All right, that's much better, right? So now we are exactly in the middle, okay? So now we can work on this thing. It's kind of surprising that the font seems to appear in a very surprising position. Thought for a moment your stream said anime Tetris game. No. Tauri is a desktop web. Oh, hold on. Desktop web view framework. Okay, desktop, I understand the word. Web view, I don't know what it is. For cross-platform apps, for which UI is written in JavaScript. Okay, that's why I don't know it, because I don't do web, so I have no idea. I have no idea about that web development. Tetris tennis. Okay, that's an interesting combination. So this is a little bit surprising that the triangle, it's so vertically challenged, where it's really in a different place compared to the text. I mean, look at that. Okay, is this because, okay, let me understand where, this is very surprising because we expect the text to be here. And there are two interesting things. One thing is that the text was moving, and now it's not moving anymore. And now it's moving again, which could be the movement of the camera. Okay, so if I press F1, it goes away. That's fine. This is a very surprising offset. that I don't understand where it's coming from. It looks like the text is really like aligned on the top. So where I tell the text to write is really here somewhere on the top, right? It's kind of here in the middle. So we either fix the text function, which would be something like doing something like this, quite simply. I think. It's cool because there are a lot of FE web developer. FE, what is FE web developers? Which can apply their code for the web on the desktop. It's more performative than Electron. Discord, their teams are written with Electron. What's your rendering API engine for the game? Is Vulkan. It's an engine written in Vulkan. Team is slow in the browser version 2. Team just sucks massively. Front end, right. All right, this seems to do the trick, right? So we got the thing aligned exactly as we expected. So that's good. My idea was to have like possibly like 3 lines to basically tell you how bad things were. So right now, our arrow width is something like 45, right? So let's bring it down to 25. Let's see how it looks like. So it will look like, so this is gonna be arrows. And this is going to be, so our baseline, I was happy with 55, but let's also parameterize that. So const arrow base x is going to be 55. Right, so this becomes this. Right, and this becomes this plus arrow width. Okay. Let's also make a parameter for arrow height. Right. Then we put it here. Okay. All right, that should give us three levels. It's not low level if you have heap allocation. Tennis is low. Tennis team is not low level if you have heap allocation. All right, so now we have these 3 arrows. They look like shit, but I think we can kind of live with them. I can probably do something like this just to make it, you know, a little bit of separation. Okay, and we can make it probably even ever so slightly smaller. Let's try it like this. Okay. They're probably a little bit too high, so we can go like this. We don't want to overwhelm. I don't want to overwhelm the player with tons of stuff on the screen. That looks all right. Okay. Okay. So that's our right arrows, right? And the left arrows are going to be a similar. Left arrows are going to be a similar situation, but we're going to go on the other side. So the way this is going to work is going to be screen position. Probably the easiest way is to put a minus everywhere. All right. Let's make it green, so we're sure that we see a difference. Let's have a look. How long I've been doing low-level development? My entire career, so 30 years. Obviously not Vulkan. This is actually my first game with Vulkan. So I've done the entire thing from 3DFX to OpenGL, DirectX 8, 9, 10, 11. And now I'm doing Vulkan. All right. So far so good. All right. So next thing is going to be probably to extract these into either their own functions. One thing that I want to see is that, okay, what happens if I only do one on the left? Yeah, okay, that's exactly what I want. That's okay. All right. Okay, so now that we have this, how we're going to use it? The first thing to decide is I think the number of arrows should go with the color. So, because obviously we could do something like 1 green, 2 green, 3 green, and then we could go in 1 yellow, 2 yellow, 3 yellow. I think it becomes really confusing for the player. I don't think the player needs that amount of detail of, you know, it needs kind of information. Hey, you were too far from the ball. You were too close to the ball. That's why your shot is not powerful as you think it's going to be. So, as it should be. So one way that we could do it, we could do like a lateral distance quality, right? And this could become our shot feedback, contact point distance X, ABS, and then we can divide for what we want, right? So we could say that, I think right now it's probably 1 meter. You can be 1 meter off your target. Hold on, we really don't want yet the absolute value. So we want to keep the sign. So we could say like 0.3, right? And then we want to turn this thing into an integer. And now the distance quality is going to tell us how many arrows we want to draw. Right. And just to be sure, we could clamp this thing. Right. Between 0 and 3. All right, now so right arrow count so how we can do this count right, so let's do like this arrow count left. Okay, so if it is 0, we want to have one arrow on the side. And actually, probably we could... We can even get more... We can do better than this, I think. We can go like this, I think, and divide by 4. Right. So here we could do a match on the lateral quality, right? And what we could do is that if it's 0, and actually you know what? I can also output the color, arrow color. Right. If it is 1, I think what we can do is that for every other value, what we're going to do, we just have to do the sign, right? So if x is more than 0, right, we will do 0x, and we need to choose the colors. Okay, so the colors is gonna be some kind of, you know, let color is a match again over x, and now what we're gonna do is that over the absolute value of x, right? And what we're gonna do is 1 is gonna be still green. 2 is going to be yellow, and 3 is going to be red, and anything else is going to be red. Okay. Color. Otherwise, we return -x, 0, and color. That sounds good. The only problem is this one. Now we're ready. So here, we need to set the color. So the color is going to be yeah, we can do it here. Color, arrow color to array. All right. And then is the left, and same thing for the color. And this should work. So the only question is going to be left and right. If we got left and right wrong, but, you know, we can test it like this. So This is where we were perfect. So let's move a little bit. I'm not convinced this is working. Okay, now it's saying. Okay, so the sign is wrong. So we could either change it here, probably. Let's try to change it here and see what happens. Okay. The problem is that the way the game works is you most probably you either don't hit the ball or you're gonna be in a good position. So you can be too close to the ball by still not working. All right. Hold on. Why is not working? So what we want to see, let's see what we're doing here. So println. So this is this and lateral this quality. Okay, so shot feedback, contact point distance, and lateral quality. Let's see the numbers. Okay, so lateral distance was 0.53. It was giving me a lateral quality of 0. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so that formula is not. Why is giving me 0? Contact point distance. Because this divided by 0.2, 0.25 should not be. Ah, okay, so first moronic thing. There you go. It's our problem. Let's go. Yeah, clamp 03. Hey, Ian, how you doing? Good morning. So probably the sign was okay. Oof, I cannot see the number. All right. That seems to do the trick. Yellow. Green. Okay. Okay. So let's see how it works in a match. Basically, now that I have this system, I played this morning. I literally was not able to do a single point. It became so much harder than, you know. At the moment, the AI is as perfect as it could be, right? Not from a tactical point of view, but basically you see that most of the time the AI is 100%. And that's why it's basically impossible. At the moment, it's like she just I'm playing against Rogerina Federova. Oh, mistake. I win a point. 1-0. I think the fact that the reason why it got harder is because it's not sliding anymore into the shot. So it's much harder, you know, if you get it wrong. Oof, that was 2-0. It's okay. Don't worry. It's the difficult thing is to make a game. Oh, okay, got it. Made a point. Is to make the AI good. Once you have the AI that is good, it's easy to make them dumber. I'm not convinced about the distance with that backhand. I have a feeling that what we're seeing. So it's either a problem because we are on this side of the court. So let me see. Yeah. So there is a problem with the sign. I think we are inverting the sign with the court, and it's wrong. I was too far. I'm trying to be as far as possible, but I think that, and now we are again on this side of the court. I have a feeling that that shot feedback somewhere, is it here? Right. I think it's this one. It's missing this. Let's try again. Sent, how come you choose Vulkan and not DirectX 11 for my engine? Well, first of all, I wanted to learn something that is... I'm a little bit scared that DirectX 11 will get deprecated or something like that. I also like the idea to write something that is easier for Proton to translate. And I wanted to learn something different. Let's do the training so I can check that the thing is correct. For sure, DirectX 11 was a safe choice. Okay, so I think we need to invert. We need to invert the sign. All right. Okay. So yeah, let's go. And we were talking the other day. There was somebody asked a very interesting question. If I'm not a little bit scared about the fact that Vulkan potentially has some drivers problems, right? If you look at Godot in the last release, shit. Let's sneeze. In the last release in Godot, they on Windows they made DirectX 12 the default, and you can imagine for an open source project like Godot, that was not, probably was not an easy decision to take. Okay, so here we have this problem. So this is a problem that we have in the game. It's not really a problem, because I think it's correct. So we have less reach on our backhand. So you see at the backhand, I cannot get it to get the two triangle illuminated. I'm still a little bit too close. And the reason is that on the backhand, I think my reach is 0.8. Yeah. So when I get here, it's like I'm not hitting the ball anymore. All right. So either I need, so the thing is this hit range. Here it is. So the hit range is 1.5 multiplied by the hit post side. So basically there is a difference between how much I can reach with my forehand and how much I can reach with my backhand, which is technically correct. But this is creating a little bit of a problem for us because we don't know how much we can really reach. It's still weird that, hold on, we should still be able to do it. Hit range X. Do I have a bug here? If because hit shot side multiplier, we can actually see the numbers that we were producing. Right, here we go. So our last good shot was minus, let's have a look at the numbers. I'm glad that I have this exercise. So let's see here. So this is a 0.765. 0.54. So we're going in the direction that is good. 0.43. I have a feel that we never get right. We never get to. This is wrong. So first of all, now we have this. We don't have to recalculate it again. What's going on here? Oh, the backhand is actually returning half. All right, it's returning half, but we still should. I don't understand this code. How is it possible? Okay. It looks almost like is the distance from the center of the player 0.2. All right. I think now it's working. And you can see that it's reaching way more. Which obviously is not a nice thing to see, right? It's not nice that now is it going on? Is it? Yeah. Okay. Okay. I see what's going on. Yeah, this is basically, yeah. Okay, so the hit post side multiplier. It can never be less than hit pos. So where do we get the hit pos? So this is hit pos. So for the ground stroke, base side. So yeah, okay. So we can't return 0.5, otherwise we will never get there. That's why it's so difficult. So for this one, we cannot do this. So we have to do this for now and then think about it, to the point that I'm considering killing this code. I think this code doesn't make any sense. Does it? It can never be less than 1. Let me leave it there. Notes. To do. This controls the maximum reach of a shot, but it should never be less than the lateral distance of the shot itself. So this should do. So now backhand and forehand, they both have like 1 meter reach. Yeah. Which also means that basically we will almost never see the... And you see that one of the problems is our animation for the backhand is really... She really gets sideways. Okay. The problem is that the ball is so far and we're still hitting it. Yeah, look at that. Oof. And is this a bug? I didn't fix the code, didn't I? I didn't put it back as it was. That's why it's still not working. Because then I'm multiplying for 1.5 out of my ass. Why? Why am I multiplying it out of my ass? Okay, so if we want more reach on the forehand, let's put more reach on the forehand. Like this. So this, all right. This, all right. And that's okay. And we can live with this. We can live with this. That's it very far. The concept is that we will still have like dedicated code for try to hit a shot, kind of reaching for it. So it's going to be like a dedicated animation for when the player is far. All right, let's give it a try again in a match. Especially to see once we change court if the if the graphic is correct. Oh my god. Now I'm gonna start missing forehands because I've reduced. Yeah, also the eye is missing forehands. Did I break the forehand? All right. Yeah. The eye is also missing forehands. That's so interesting. How come that I broke the forehand? All right, let's see if the number makes sense here. Oof, I think I broke the forehand. Let's go check 1 second. All right. So. And I think the animation for the forehand is way more than 1 meter. That's the problem. So that's would be like perfect. And now we miss this one. All right. So let's bring back the forehand to 1.5 meters. That's a good name, isn't it? Do you use something like BGFX for the graphics library? No, it's a custom engine written in Vulkan. Will be cool, the ability to dash to the side when the ball is to fire. Yeah. Yeah, some kind of sliding. Is definitely something that I'm planning. Okay. Oof. How far is this? Right. So how far is this? I don't understand. Because I'm adjusting the volley. What an idiot. So probably even 25 would do, right? The most important milestone is skirt physics. Absolutely. Well, there is another one. There is another physics that is more important than skirt. But yes, skirt physics. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's the same physics as the hair. So I'm quite confident that it will work. But definitely we're gonna have a fun stream once we do the other jiggle physics. This looks kind of okay. All right, let's play a match. Let's see. Let's see if the AI keeps missing forehands as well, because that's interesting if the AI miss forehands. I think the AI still has that 1.5. Is it? That's why they're missing. AI player. I think the AI has that 1.5 thing, isn't it? Somewhere. Somewhere the AI is, there is a part that it goes like choose target and shot target, take space and time, take space, blah 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 blah. That's the function we're calling. unless we have these two swapped out, why should the reach between different between volley and bounce shot? Good question. On the backhand, you have more reach, especially if you have a two-hand backhand. I think on the forehand it's pretty much the same. Potential is a little bit longer on the volley, probably, but on the backhand, because it's a one-hand shot, so you have a little bit more reach compared to a two-hand backhand. But it's mostly also the way Rust works. It wants me to cover all the possible thing. But I think it makes sense that potentially they will be different. Ugh. We also don't want the eye to... Maybe we're gonna... Oh my god. It's unplayable. Completely unplayable. Completely unplayable. Now with the reduced reach of the forehand, I made the game even harder. Like it's oof, the eye miss a forehand. Why is missing this forehand? I think one of the reasons why we might be missing these shots could be the fact that it's funny that we're missing forehands. It's gonna be really difficult to read this, but we're gonna do it. Let's do something like if a player index is 0, so give me only one player, and then I will let the eye play. Yes, and then we stop this. Let's give it a try. Oof, she's missing so much. Come on, play. Stop 1 second. Okay, stop. So, AI lateral offset 1. So that was backhand. Okay. I think what the problem is, okay, I think the AI is doing the wrong thing here. Hit post side multiplier. I think the AI is doing the wrong thing here. Or this function is has the completely wrong name for it. Yeah. Yeah, this function has the wrong name, right? This is not what it is. It's not a multiply. What this is reach or max reach, right? Max reach. Max reach. Right, so that's way more clear where it is. And the eye is trying to go at the max reach, but we don't want to go at the max reach. We want to go at this. The problem with this is that it's really these other two things, right? So this is really what where the eye wants to go. So here, that's not really what we want to do. So what was the code? It was something like this. So it was like shot side forehand. Oh, how I do this in Rust? Like this? No, how I do this? How I can create? Yeah, base side. Yeah, okay. And then the other problem is this, but this is player court side. Right. All right. I mean, this should fix the problem. Because basically what was happening is that the AI was choosing the most distant, the most possible distance, the maximum reach distance instead of the optimal distance. There was a minus somewhere here. There was a minus somewhere. Shotgun, blah blah blah, hit post. No, that's it. Right, that's it. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get the AI to play. And hopefully they don't miss anymore. I had a feeling that what's going on here? Okay, so right. What's going on? Okay, so what we were doing. Okay, we're doing the court side 2 times, don't we? Right. Let's go. Ah, wrong. Wrong. Oh, fuck me. At the end, this is always 1. Fuck, this is so confusing. This is so confusing. So the optimal distance is always 1. I don't know about that. No. No. No, 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 no. No, not at all. Not at all. So the only other options that we have, I think, is that they should fix the thing. So our reach for the forehand. So right now we have a reach of 125 for the forehand and 1 for the backhand. That means that, you know, if we want to keep it similar, it should be something like this. Right? And then when we go here, we do this. All right. Okay, so now the AI should pretty much, unless they are really on the run, nail the position of pretty much every shot. Okay. So come on, girls, some backhand, please. Let's see some backhand. All right, that looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, one thing that I want to do now is I want to make it really, really more obvious, the loss of speed. I fear you jinx it when you say you can always make it the AI dumber. Yeah. Yeah. No, but it's true. The difficult part is to make it smart. So what I want to do is the step swing. I want to make it really obvious now what we lose. So right now, what is happening is that we get the absolute value of the contact point distance multiplied by 0.3. That means that in the worst case scenario, I lose 30%. Right? Let's go to 50%. So if I really hit it too near, I will lose 50% of the power. All right, let's go. And obviously that, okay, the number that appears on the AI is problematic because I cannot see the ball. I cannot see the ball, so I lose a lot of visibility on the entire initial part. So let's do this. Let's go here. And shot feedback, we only add it, let's see, we only add it when it's us. So first of all, let's remove this debug. We don't need it anymore for now. And when we add it, we only want to add it if it is us. So if this is true, and also if p index, yeah, let's do index 0. This is wrong. Player state. We need to pass who is controlling this. Control mode, player control mode. Right. So control mode is self data control mode. But on the other hand, I mean, this could be useful to know what the AI is doing. The problem is it makes the game really unplayable, but very difficult to play. Player control mode. Player. Right. So now it's putting it only for. The alternative is to remove it. Don't put the shot. Don't put the UI where the ball is it, but to put it kind of on the top of the player. I kind of like, you know, that kind of effect that it is right there where the ball gets hit. It's, you know, it's a little bit like the. See, now you see that ball, like I was really near, that ball had absolutely no power. I feel we're back into impossible. So for now it's like 5 points in a row for the eye. Six points in a row for the eye. Out. Double fault. I made a point. Thank you, AI. The double fault. Okay. Yeah, lucky one here. So 30-all. We're fighting. That was correct, right? That I hit the ball really. It was really my body, and it had absolutely no power. Ooh, that's a great shot, AI. Great shot. 2-0. Very far. It's very difficult, and I need to rewire a little bit my brain from the auto adjusting that we had before. So you really need to go in the right place. See, I like that. I like the fact that I hit the ball too near. It was very short. The eye came in and killed me. That's exactly what we want. Oof, out. 3-0, and I feel like I have absolutely no hopes. Like, I feel like she's just completely destroying me. Let's go for a big one. It was not really that big. I think there is no hope. It's gonna be 4-0. 4-0, 4-0. Let's see. Set point already? No, 30 love. Almost set point. Oof. All right. Set point. Four zero. As I said, this is all good. I want it to be like this. I want it to be completely destroyed. If we also start with double faults, we make it really hard for ourselves. Stay in. Yes. Oh my gosh. All right. Oh my God. Oh, how can that be 100%? That was really weird. That was really a bit weird. Oh my gosh. Out, out. Come on, let's go. It's like every point I make is like a major achievement. Oh. 3-0. I think the game is crashing on the match point. I think. I don't know if I fixed it, but I think the game is gonna crash when the match finish. We will see soon. 3-15. Match point. The loss of speed is quite massive. Okay, it's not crashing anymore. Maybe on the first point it's gonna crash. No, still it's not crashing. That's good. What is this? He's doing a tie break. Whatever. Good day. Have you ever heard about the Becker Hecht? What is that? What is that? I don't know what it is. What is it supposed to be? Wait, ciao Roberto. Roberto from YouTube is asking. So, va bene Roberto se la traduco in inglese e rispondo in inglese? Is asking again what is the arrows? And it's the indication of the distance, lateral distance from the ball. So that means that I'm at the right distance. Now it means that I'm too close to the ball. Right? Too close. And that. Too close. I've never seen red, actually. I think we need to... here it is, the red. Okay. So here it is, the red. And what is happening is that when you're too close to the ball, so wrong distance from the ball, you lose power. You lose power. So Becker is from Boris Becker. He jumped hilariously. Yes, I mean diving. It's called diving. It's called diving. So yeah. So it's the diving. Boris. So that's what we're talking about.
Right, Boris, everybody here, never seen that out on set.
I hated giving up off, so what to do, I'm gonna put my body forward. There, for example, I was on my way out, but I didn't want to have the ball pass me, so I just jumped for the next one. And that's the honest reason. But
yeah. So yeah, obviously it's one of those things that I already talked about this before, but in my opinion, these kind of things are very dangerous to add in a tennis game, because it's the reason why you even calling with Boris Becker name is because it's something that happens, especially on grass. People do dive on grass, but it's a very rare occurrence. That's why people remember it and talk about it, because it was quite unique. And the big problem in tennis games that implement this is that every point is like four dives left and right, and then become really ridiculous, right? So it's one of those things that is unique in tennis because it happens rarely, and it's an event. So you know, if Becker was playing, maybe it will happen a couple of times in a match, maybe at Wimbledon, right? So it was really unique. The big danger to add something like this to a game is that it just becomes ridiculous, right? You can go and watch some videos of other games on YouTube, and you will see that you have this rallies that look nothing like tennis, right? With people die, you know, the signs that you will see of things that don't look like tennis, that I really don't like, is that what you're gonna see is a player playing here, like in tennis, this position here, when you are like 1 meter and a half inside the court, is called no man's land, right? It's basically, you never want to be here in tennis, right? It's like it's like, no, like the moment a player is here, is dead, right? Because it's so easy to just get the ball in the feet, and it becomes really complex to do anything. So if you see a tennis game and a player is playing here, then instantly killing the fact that, okay, this is a game that has nothing to do with tennis. So out of curiosity, let's see what happens if I try to play a match. Well, right now the AI is killing me anyway, so it's not really a fair test, but let's see what happens if I try to play in no man's land. Right. I cannot even touch the ball anymore. Just becomes impossible. You can play at the net. Suddenly, I don't have the animations for the volleys. So right now I'm not bothering even working on those. But you know, it's one of the reasons why I like this camera so much, is the fact that when you go at the net, it feels really cool. So if I go at the net, let's see if I can manage to make 1 point at the net. I'm still a little bit too slow in moving forward, so I need to accelerate. You see, it's like I'm a little bit. I'm always in no man's land, so I should be able to move forward faster. And I think one of the reasons is that we still have like quite a big pause at the end of a shot, where the player stays there, and especially after the serve. And obviously the reach is very short. It's totally okay for volleys to have a big reach, I think. But we need the animations, because otherwise the game is going to be very unnatural. I like that. I like that, you know, no power at all, because the shot was completely in my body. So you really need to move out of the way. But the eye at the moment is completely unplayable. It's just so good that it's unplayable. I made my player pretty slow. Let me see if I make my player a little bit faster. So my speed is 3 at the moment, where the eye is 3.5. So let's make the eye, both me and the eye 4, and let's see how the game changes. If that zone you mean no man's land, no, not really. John McEnroe played here, right, at the net. Not here. Here. Yeah, big difference. Here you are at the net. Right? Here you are in no man's land. So you never see players playing here. Right? Players will step in. So in other words, you will stay here, and then if you see a short ball, you'll step in and you hit it. But you never wait for the ball here. You're dead if you play it here. Okay, now I'm faster, right? And I can go. Obviously, I don't have any kind of high thing, but at least I can. Yeah, this feels so cool. Yeah, even if I don't have the animation and stuff, but it feels so cool to go at the net. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Yeah, so this is going to be, you know, one way to play the game. You know, old style serve and volley. And as usual, it has to be a balance. It has to be a good balance between so now the players are a little bit faster in moving. And I'm winning some points. Actually, I won the game. This wrong position. It should be a backhand. I won a game with serve and volley already. That's interesting. 1-1. It's very difficult. We absolutely need something to allow to have a better max reach. Let me just give it a try, because now we know what that max reach function does. So let's give us, like, you know, let's give us a reach of 155 on the forehand and 155 on the backhand, and see how the game changes, right? Yes, well, yeah. When you go at the net, obviously your first shot, especially with modern tennis, you know, if you cannot have a big serve, you might have to hit it somewhere here, right after the bounce. Yes. But it's just an exception in that shot that you're moving to the net. So now we have a longer reach. So it might look weird where we might be able to hit balls that are pretty far from us. But I think it's a better representation of how the game would play eventually. Yeah, so that ball was really far. And I still hit it. That was far. And you know, maybe you noticed that it was far, and you see my ball is short because I'm not hitting at the right distance. See, that was really far, but I still hit it. So, and you can imagine that the moment that we will have an animation where the player is reaching a little bit, it's gonna look fine. It's gonna look all right. See, that was pretty far, but I still got it. I see that my balls is super short. She's all over me, look at that. Look how short is my ball. Ah. See, yeah, now I can reach these balls and stay in the point. At least I can stay in the point. My shots get shorter and shorter, but at least I don't die immediately. That's your short. Okay. Oof. Yeah, got it. And this feels, I mean, it feels eerily familiar, right? That feeling where you're getting pushed back, right? And you're desperately trying to get the ball long on the other side, but it doesn't come out, right? And your opponent is all over you. It's like scarily familiar. See, now I am in this defensive position and I'm desperately trying to... and now my ball is really short. And we could actually like go one step forward. So now we have the timing and we have the lateral distance. We could go one more. We could make it even harder, where we could start, and I think we should, we could start to consider where we are hitting the ball from a vertical point of view. So basically, we want to hit the ball somewhere between below our shoulder and our knee, right? Ideally, right? So if the moment that we hit the ball, it's out of this range, so if the ball is up here or the ball is very low, we should also lose power because of that. And that means that we might end up with even more arrows, right? So we might have the lateral arrows, but we could also have the vertical arrows. So the question is really like, when it comes to the auto adjustment, it's a game balancing question. So like, it's really how hard we want to make it. Because let's bring back the auto adjust let's see what happens. Auto adjust position, right? So if I bring back the auto adjustment, so this was okay. So this is again, we were doing the wrong thing here. So what we really wanted to do is so we need to know the shot side. Okay, so we have this. Hold on. I forgot how this thing works. So we have to extract the shot side. Shot type. So we're already doing the shot type. So what the fuck? Ah, okay. We just have to do. Okay, so we have to do shot kind. So ground, and we get the side, right? Or shot kind volley, and we also get the side. Right. Now we can do this. Okay, so I was in an arcade mode. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm right now. I'm really exploring what the game should be. If we want a more strategic kind of gameplay. Hey, can we put a serve in? Thank you. All right, now you see the character, the player is sliding into the right distance. Right? Boom. Oh, boom. Right? And now, obviously, if I'm on a run, it's not going to be able to slide. But if I get kind of there, it will slide into the right position. And it doesn't make the eye any less lethal, but at least it's now very difficult to get it wrong. You see that I always have the 2 green arrow, right? I'm always pretty much at the right distance, right? Because the auto adjusting is doing it for me. Yeah, so it's much easier. I'm still losing every point, but I don't feel like I'm struggling, you know, to even hit the ball. And because our lateral distance is influencing the speed of my ball, right? The fact that now my lateral distance is always pretty much correct, I also lost that feeling of, you know, the opponent is kind of really pushing me back and I cannot push the opponent back, which is if you play tennis, that's the kind of feel you get. I feel like I can always get out of it. See, I can keep her away easily because my shots are always going fast and deep. Let's turn it off again. Obviously, I understand that to see somebody playing is not the same, so it's difficult to transmit the difference, right? So now no auto adjusts. So let's see, my ball is instantly shorter. Now this one is long because I was at the right distance. This one I'm gonna miss it. That one, the auto adjust will just fix it for me. This was good and my ball is long. This is good and my ball is nice and long. This I'm totally wrong position and now lost the point. Wrong position, I will lose the point. Yeah. I was short and she killed me. I have a feeling that it's a little bit too punishing. Like there was one green and I lost quite a bit of power. Because I think the way it should work is really if it is less than 0.25, you should consider it as 0. So this apply shot error. No, where is it? This one. Shot quality. No, where the fuck is the speed? Shot speed. Here we go. So shot speed should really be like plus 0.25, right? So anything below 0.25 distance is good. It's gonna give me the full speed, because otherwise we always lose. So at the moment the emote is positioned relative to the ball and timing. Correct. That's the but by being at the wrong distance you lose power on the ball. Wrong timing is gonna give you an error, like so the ball could start to go in different direction completely. But the wrong distance is not going to give you errors, it's just going to give you less power, so you get the effect of the opponent pushing you. All right, now the ball is coming out of my racket a little bit longer, so you see that now I don't have the opponent all over me. See, I can push her back. And now... yeah, this is okay. So now we are back in a situation where I can actually at least hold the rally. I don't feel like I'm being desperately pushed, because at the end these are two players that are still same level. So this is short, and it's correct because it was basically between my legs. It's a little bit too near. It's perfect. That was so the next thing would be to attempt to introduce also the height. But the height, my idea is that the height will be quite forgiving, right? So anything from here to here, so anything shoulder to knees is 100%. You don't lose anything. You know, you can totally blast it, no problem, right? But if it starts to be over the shoulder, then you should start to lose some power. And that could also fix a little bit the moon bowling problem that we have. And also, if the ball is below the knee, it's also becoming problematic. Probably we should like reduce the amount of topspin that we can put on the ball, because if the ball is below your knee, it's very difficult to generate topspin. Like you don't have the space to do it. Which is also the thing, like the other day I did the slice, and then I was thinking like, okay, but in this game, why would you want to hit a slice? Because in real life, the reason why you hit a slice, there are a couple of reasons. One reason is on your backhand, you cannot hit a topspin. Right? So it's a technical problem, or you're late. You know, the slice is much easier to hit when you're late, or when you're defending. So that's reason number one. Another reason is to keep the ball low, right? So you want to keep the ball low, and there is and by keeping the ball low, you're making it harder for your opponent to hit with a lot of topspin. Right? And right now we don't have this in the game. So that means that the entire idea of having a slice doesn't make any sense. So why would you do it if the opponent can just blast all the time? So if we have this ball that stays nice and low, then it could be interesting, right? That could definitely add an element to the gameplay. Where you and we can combine these, right? And we can also combine the effect of these, right? Because right now, you know, we can say, okay, maybe we're going to lose a little bit less power, so the effect is there, but it's not making the game really, really hard. So it's really becoming a balanced thing. Is the forehand and backhand automatically adjusted? You mean if it chooses backhand and forehand? Yes. Yeah. Yes. It basically, because the way it works is that the moment that you press the button, you stop moving, right? So that means that the system can calculate where the ball is going to go, because you stop in that position, and then you can calculate where the ball is going and if it is going to be a backhand or a forehand. But also, if you have pushed the opponent further back from the previous shot, you then make the ball shorter with a slice. Well, that's a drop shot. So, and it's a good point. You know, probably the slice could also be like a trigger for a drop shot. But slice and drop shot are not the same thing, because you can still generate quite the amount of power with the slice, like, you know, tennis slice backhand battle or something like that. There are videos where you see players that can generate a huge amount of power and curve. So the ball is curving, But you see that it stays very low, but it's not the drop shot. The ball is super low, but it's not short.
Great shot.
When the ball is that low, it's really, really difficult to hit it with topspin. So you, obviously these two guys now are practicing, so they are doing it on purpose. But when you play tennis, especially on the backhand, it's very common that if you get a slice backhand, on your backhand, you're gonna play a slice as well. Right, most of the time. Unless you get a Bosch slice. But if you know, to go down, if you want to go with a topspin against a slice, you have to go very low with your legs. Like that's the thing that I think if I'm getting a slice and I want to try to go with topspin, is that's the first thing that I think. It's like, all right, it means that my old man legs will have to bend quite a lot and go very low if I want to go for a topspin here. But it becomes a difficult shot. Right. Okay, so we're done with the UI indicator. How I called it? Distance-based gameplay. Okay, so let's call it, lateral distance indicator UI. So that's cool. Okay. What we can do next? I could just attempt to make our training mode a little bit more interesting, a little bit more representative of how it's going to be. So right now we have a super boring training drill where, so the way you should imagine this is really, there should be like a dude here. There should be like a coach or something hitting this ball. And right now it's good for debug because it's giving this ball in the middle. And the idea, if you remember, is to hit the ball and get into the 4 cones. And we count how many ball we can actually put it there, right? So we could do it, we could make it a little bit more interesting than this. So if I remember how this was called, so this was like a training drill. All right. So right now the logic is super simple. Okay. Okay, so this is the feed. Yeah. Also, ball machine is an idea, right? So I could actually make a ball machine. Like, that's something that I could actually do, like a ball machine mode. The idea with the ball machine would be like, what the ball machine will be like is, for example, in this situation here, I could have like some kind of UI where I can move the position of the ball machine, and I can change the angle of the speed of where the ball machine is sending the ball. That could be an interesting thing. But let's have a situation where, for example, let's try a feed where the coach is in another place, right? And the target for the ball, so right now is on the serve line. Let's make it a little bit longer, the reserve line, right? And a little bit on the sides. Sadly, I always forget what is it. So I think positive is left and negative is right. So the idea is that the coach is now in one corner, is giving us the ball on the other corner. So let's see if I got the, yeah, I got the thing right. Okay. And we have to hit, you know, so it's a much longer ball, and we have to hit cross court there, right? Okay. And what we could do is we could add another target. Um, I'm not gonna read that. Right. So the idea is that we want to hit 4 balls here and 1 ball here with the power shot. Right. So the exercise and the trick is that the thing should keep score. So we should do like 1 and hit in there. Right. 2. It went out. And this ball is too, coach, this ball is too short. It's too weak. Right? And then at the 4th ball, you know, we attack and we go down the line there. Okay. So if we want to do this, okay, so we're gonna need some kind of struct drill shot or something like that. Drill shot or drill sequence shot. The idea is that we're gonna have a sequence of stuff that you have to do. And this could actually be, could it be enum? Let's try it with enum. So the idea is that here we're going to have a sequence. It's going to be a vector of drill sequence shot. All right. And then the sequence shot is going to be so it is going to be something I don't think it should be an enum. I think it should be a struct. And what we want to have is a shot side, is a shot kind, probably. Kind. A shot kind. So but what we're saying is saying I'm expecting you to hit a forehand, you know, safe, a forehand power and so on. Right? And then we're going to have so the target. So the target is going to be a rectangle, right? So the way we can express this rectangle is either with the extent of the rectangle, or we could have center and size of the rectangle. Probably let's have it like this, like a tuple of two. I mean, I have a rectangle struct. Is it public? I have it, so it is used for. It doesn't do a lot of stuff, so we could just copy it here, right? So we might have something drill rectangle. And the other thing that we might have in this sequence shot is the information of the ball that the coach give us. So we might have a ball origin, right? And a ball target. And the target could be a normalized target. So the way this is going to work is going to work something like sequence is going to be a back, right, of training drill. No, what is it? Drill sequence shot. When I'm saying, okay, this is actually shot, not side. Shot. So I'm going to say, okay, so the first shot is going to be ground. It's going to be a forehand, and it's going to be safe. Okay. And then the rectangle. I think we need some function, otherwise it becomes really verbose. Right. And this could be how we could express this. Probably just like this. Yeah, not really much. So it's just a shortcut. So down here, rect is going to be drill rect new. And the position for this is going to be this thing. But here is like a normalized, which we're fine with it, I think. So it's going to be vector to 106, right? And then the size is going to be I have to put the one inside, I think. So 04. 04 is quite because it's okay. 04, 06, and then the size becomes 06, 04. Right? Okay. And then the ball origin is pretty much that value that we were doing here. This one. So that's our ball origin, right? And the ball target was this one. Right? And we can express it here. We express it in normalize. So we're going minus 0.5, minus 0.6. No, this is the x. Yeah, minus 0.6, 0.6. It's gonna, so that's a sequence. So let's do 1, 1. And then we add the other, right? So one shot is like this, and the second shot has to be a power shot, right? The coach is giving us pretty much the same ball, although we could change the but we have a big problem with this rectangle thing. Well, big problem. I think it's much better to express the rectangle as a center and a size. So if it is a center or a size, how is this going to look like? So this is going to look like 7, 8. I think it's much better, right? Because then if I want to do the one on the other side, the size remains the same. And this becomes minus 7, 8. Right, that makes sense. And instead of ball origin, let's call this feed origin and feed target. Okay. So I think now I have to write this one better, right? Where we do, so the first thing we do is unnormalize the pose. So normalize the position pos, right? And let half size is quart normalized pos and size divided by 2. Okay? So now our position becomes pos minus 2 half size, and it's become vector 3. Oh, che stress. Right. Very confusing. All right. The trade clone is not satisfied, va bene. Clone. Okay. And derive clone. Okay. Right. And then we need a sequence index. Right. And obviously start from 0. So let's start from the feed. Let's get the feeds a little bit shorter. This one. Shit, we also need the feed speed, right? Well, whatever. Right. Right. So one thing at a time. So this is the feed. So when this is like this, we also increase the feed, right? So self sequence index is sequence index plus 1 modulo self sequence length. Okay. So now the position for this becomes okay. So the ball position becomes self. Let's do a drill shot is gonna be self sequence index. So shot drill shot feed origin, and this is shot again drill shot feed target. All right, so if this works, we should have two different feeds. You know, one, oof. Again. Okay, so first shot there. Second shot, nope. Ah, okay. The reason why it's not progressing is because I'm not hitting the ball. So I should hit the ball to progress. What? And then I should get the second feed that is shorter. Okay. So one, and then one that is shorter. Boom. Okay. Again. One. And then one shorter. Boom. Okay. So that works. Next is that we need to look at the result, right? So is what we expecting happening. So right now, the way we're doing it, we are checking it like this. So we normalize position. So instead of doing this, we're gonna do the same thing that we do here. And obviously we need to do it, yeah, we can do it like this, okay? So we don't need this normalized position anymore. And what we can do, we can call if drill shot rectangle is ball in, and we pass the ball position, okay? Is ball in. Right. And it's gonna be self, and it's gonna be all pass. Right. And we return the ball. Okay. And the ball is in if ball pass x is more or equal self pass x minus self size x. We really want to have an half size here, don't we? Right. And ball pass x is less or equal self pass x plus self half size x, and ball pass z more self pass z y. This is confusing, right? Because yeah, it's a little bit confusing. Let's get this ball as a vector of 2, so we get y everywhere. Minus self half size y, and ball pass y is less or equal self pass y plus self half size y. That's it. Okay, so if this is true, we do this. Okay. Okay. That's it. That should work. So we have to keep an eye on this one for the score. So 1. So not good. Not good. And we're still not checking for what kind of shot I put. So for now we're tragically at 0. Okay, we got 1. Okay. Okay. We probably also want to work on the feed itself. So right now the feed is looking at the ball bounce. I think we can look also at ball position Z if it is more. So we want a more, right, a little bit more rhythm. Right, let's go. Nice. Or let's go. Yeah. Woof. It's actually quite difficult. Okay. Let's wait a little bit more. You know, something like this. Okay. We need to check, and this is the most difficult part, that we actually going for the shot that we want to go for, that we should go for. And the way we're gonna do this, instead of checking for the bounce, what we can check we could bet on the fact, and I think it's a very good bet, that by the time that this ball get hit, our player is still in a shot sequence. So we should be able to do a match players 0 shot, right? And we should be, so in this situation, so we are in this situation. So if we're not in this situation, I want to panic because this is very unexpected. This should never happen. All right. Okay. So all this stuff, for now, we don't need it, but we need a shot type. Okay. This is actually a shot kind. Shot kind. Nope, that's not what I meant. What did they do? My cats are being kind. Okay. Okay, shot kind. So now real shot. It's a shot kind, right? So we can do the check there. So if the shot equal the shot kind and this, then the sequence is good. All right. It sounds reasonable. Sounds reasonable. Difficult part is going to obviously to give a feedback. I don't think we will be able to play an audio, but I think we should be able to do something else. Oops. I think we just triggered this should never happen. Okay, it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense, right? Because actually by the time the ball bounces, our shot is well gone. So this is not good enough. So what we have to do, we can actually do it in another situation. If ball hit, no, what is it? Ball events hit, right? In this case, the problem is that we don't know who hit it, because it could also have been our feed. It's a little bit annoying. So I don't think the ball when we hit the ball, we are not really passing, I think, any information of who hit it. Player index. All right, okay. So that's good. Okay, so what we can do, so the ball should know if ball hit player index is sum 0, so he's the player, and ball events hit is sum. So if the ball was hit and it was the player, we can actually run this code and check if the shot selection was okay. So here we need some kind of variable. So is shot kind correct? Bool. The other option is just recording whatever shot was hit. And basically do this. Player shot, something like that, right? And this is going to be shot kind. So the idea is that when this happens, we record whatever shot the player is currently in, which I think is a good. So player shot is this. All right. And here we just do this. All right. Let's give it a try. Okay, that's one. We missed this. And that's two. Okay. One. Now let's do this with a safe shot, and you shouldn't give it to me. Perfect. Let's. We need some kind of sound effect, I think. I think it would be cool to have some kind of sound effect. Right. So right now this is assuming everything in everything in single thread, so we shouldn't really worry about multi-thread. Let's do like, you know, feedback. It's going to be an option of bool, so if the last was good or not. Okay, so so feedback is going to be none. So how are we going to do this? We need the audio, so this is a little bit annoying. Render UI. I could cheat big way and basically add because I either create, so we have a training trait, right? So I could try to add an audio engine here. But this is going to be tricky. Audio. No, actually an audio scene, I think. I forgot how it works now. Immutable audio scene. Right. So audio scene. Okay. So let's see if we have problem calling it like this, because this is going to be immutable game. No, sorry, self tennis audio scene. So that's fine, no problemo. But the problem is that this is not enough. Because we will have to... So this has got a bunch of events, but we need this kind of stuff. Audio event. Audio buffer. What I could do, I could have a name on the audio event. Actually, I have this. Hold on. The problem is that the name of the event is the file name of the audio. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Basically, what we want to do is we could do that in the audio scene. We could have some kind of find event by name, right? And this is the name, and we return an option of audio event handle, right? And this is going to be self events iter position event name equal name map handle, or better index, and we map it into some audio event handle index. Expected found option. Okay, we just have to remove this. Wow, so cute. Look at that. That's really cute. Okay. So now that we have this, we could have a lazy situation here where we have like, you know, SFX, sound effects, wrong. It's an option of audio event handle. That starts from none. Okay. So the idea here is that what we do is, so if this is true, then we say self feedback is some true, so success. Otherwise, the feedback is some false. And that's easy. Now, the point is that in the UI, what we're gonna do is, first of all, we grab, okay, I need the audio, right? I'm in a moment that I need the audio. So do I have something that I can use for this? Audio. UI. Not the best. Right. So we could use that. Do I have anything else that I can use? I really don't think so. Hmm. That's nice. I think that's the audio that I was using for the tutorial in Hydrofall generation. Yeah, okay. Right, okay. Good enough. Good enough for me. Let's get error and success. Right, these two. Right. So let's grab them and put them in Jack's Games, P2A, Content, SFX, error and success. Right. So the idea is that we have to create those in the tennis level. So in tennis audio, we will do create we don't have to do so, or we can just do scene create event. The path is going to be content sfx error dot wave and buffer store. Okay. 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 And then in training, what is going to happen is going to be, okay, first of all, we grab the audio if we don't have, right? So if self SFX wrong is none, then we grab it. So self SFX wrong is audio scene, find event by name, content, SFX error. Wave. And we'll wrap it. We can call this one error, so it's make more sense. What? Okay. Ah, so we want to have it as a mutable. Hopefully it's not a problem. Tell me it's not a problem. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry if this is a problem. Everything okay? Rust is happy, Rust is happy. Let's go. Okay. So we got this. Okay, so by the time we get here, we know that we have. So if let sum feedback equal self feedback take, okay, takes the value out of the operation, leaving a none in its place. Fantastic. Okay. Then we play, right? So if feedback self SFX error, so audio scene play event self SFX error. That's it. If you're still missing more, yeah. No, actually, I have it. I didn't. I have it in the Jai version of the game, but I didn't implement it in the Rust yet. But I have it. Where is it? Pain grunt. I have this when they really hit the ball badly, and then I have this one. All right, this should give us a feedback for the errors. So, okay. Right. Okay. Let's do the correct. So where did we do this? Tennis audio. Jesus, I'm so tired. What time it is? Okay. Makes sense that I'm tired. I already did this, so we just have to do it on the training side. So training drill SFX success is an option of audio handle. Right, and we have to do the entire, so we have to do, we start with none and we get it lazily like we did here. I can assume that if this one is none, the other one is also going to be none, and we're going to grab it. I could also have like a one single structure. Okay, so that's okay. And then we just play that one. All right, so at least we get some audio feedback. The volume was pretty low. Okay, let's give it a try. Ah, come on. Okay. Oof, that was good. Why didn't give it to me? Yeah. It's actually quite difficult. It's annoying that if... What's going on here? If I don't hit it, what's wrong? Why is it not hitting anymore? What is happening? Why is it not hitting anymore? That's an interesting bug. It's a very interesting bug. Why is it not hitting anymore? I don't know what happened. Why is it not hitting anymore? See if I can replicate it. Oof. Okay, after a while it's not hitting the ball anymore. How come? What is happening? It's so weird. Wondering how we can debug this. Let me see if it's something that happens. What is that? When the ball goes out or something like that? Okay, does it happen now? Okay, so is the ball out that is not reset for whatever reason? Because I think the ball out gets reset. Gets reset on start point. So we can do ball false. I think that's what it is. Also, it's weird because the first time that we shoot on the power, I don't hear the audio. So that I hear it. That I didn't hear it, the result. Okay, so I'm not... Sometimes I don't hear the... Let me reset. Oh, come on. Okay. So sometimes is not doing it. I don't know if it is an audio problem. I don't know if it is an audio problem or a logic problem. So hopefully I can see I don't have to start too much stuff in the log. So boom, feedback true. Okay. Feedback false. Feedback true. Feedback false. True. Okay, so it looks to me like if I do the same result, come on, man. See that one. So it's an audio problem because the logic was correct. So for some reason, this is not playing. Okay, what happened if I play it in loop? Now it's very annoying. Was not expecting that. Okay, I have some broken logic in my audio again. I have to do this thing again. I wonder if I should like force the active source and none so it get reset to play again. Okay, I think I fixed it. Oof. Okay, there is this thing that I don't like, that if I miss the ball, it doesn't advance with the sequence. I'm not a fan of that. Ah. Okay. Let me do just one more thing, and then I think I'm done for today because I'm pretty tired. So if I want to do like 2 shots on that side, it's simply like this. So now it's 2 shots cross court safe and then 1 shot down the line. Right? So it's like 1, 2, then boom. 1, 2, bang. Oh my god. Come on. 1, 2. See, 100% I cannot miss it. That shouldn't happen. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Perfect. 1, 2. Why I always make games that are super difficult? Why cannot make a game that it's easy? Okay, I'm confused now. So we're back here. The next thing to do for this drill is we will need some indication of which is our active target, right? So the thing to do for the next step for this drill, to make it even harder, whoa, send the ball to hyperspace. Ah, this is the short ball now. No, where are we? See, like I lose the count. 2. This is the third short ball. Okay. So interestingly, I am at 50%. I thought I was doing much worse. It's still pathetic. Kunos is closed. I'm gonna grab him. My cat closed himself. You do it? I thought I was. You're not. Yeah, I'm always. No, I always make games that are so difficult. So the things. Let me write down a to do for next. So this training. So the next should be UI for next target. For sure. So we should know where our next target is. And the other thing that is cool, I think, is what I would like to have. It's another cone here. So the idea is that you should hit the ball, then go back around the cone, that back here, hit the ball, around the cone, here, boom. Around the cone, here, around the cone, around the cone. Ah! Okay, obviously we need to make it that the rhythm of the feed is not too crazy. Right? But you can imagine that you can create a lot of different exercises. Right? And the more you proceed in the game, the more this will become complex. Again, the idea for this part of the game is that this would be the equivalent of your, you know, I go out hammering rocks or mining asteroids, right? It's your equivalent of grinding, but we're trying to make it fun anyway. And the concept is that you say, okay, I want to work on my forehand power, and you go here, and depending on how good your score is in these drills, your shot the shot that you were concentrating on will improve. And then you will go to the next tournament and you will have like better shots, right? More power, more spin, more accuracy, and so on. Did I use Vulkan for the rendering? Yes. Yes, I use Vulkan. So that's the idea. Should be pretty easy to check that, you know, that we went back here. So we can go, so we can do it like, so we can do that. It needs to go on the other side of the thing. So it needs to pass the cone, or we can make it harder, like, you know, that needs to go around like this, which is a thing, right? In tennis, this is how you work on your things, right? Go around, you go around. So you're always hitting kind on the move, right? It's more difficult. What credit did you use to integrate Deer? It's called IMGUI. So it's called actually IMGUI. And then there is an IMGUI Vulkan renderer. So I think it's just your first result. So I think it's this one. So it's your first result. Oh, easy enough. Which it's quite obvious, you know, it's got way more downloads than the other solutions. I tried some days ago and had some problems integrating it. Yeah, I don't think it was that hard. Obviously the initialization, how is it? I don't remember. I don't even remember how it works. Render. So you got this context. And to initialize it, simply this. So itself is not a problem. I use dynamic rendering, so I had to. I think obviously the renderer part is more complex than this one. This one is very, you know, is very straightforward. For the renderer part, obviously it's a little bit more complex because you need to know things like, you know, frame in flight, all these informations here. And then you create it with this default allocator. So not very complex. And then there is the stuff for the font I'm doing for, because I'm going not only for the debug, but also for the actual game UI, which I don't think many people do, but you know, it's the first time that I try to do it. I don't want to write my own system. So for example, this is running also with IMGUI. So, and these are custom controls that I did, and works okay so far. and it's got, you know, it does automatically the positioning of the stuff. So this stuff is anchored to the bottom left. So as I resize my window, it stays there. And obviously this one is anchored here, this one is anchored there, this one is anchored here. So it kind of works pretty well, I would say. All right, so that's it, I think, for today. We made some progress, had some fun, and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao, 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 ciao.